What's going on, everyone? I'm sure you've been wondering, what are the duo discussions from the Common Collective? So here's a short video to explain like the who, what, and the why. So as a collective, we see the duo discussions as a shorter formed podcast in a way where we can come together one-on-one, whether it's me and Ricky, Joe and Riley, to talk about past experiences, ideas, and skill sets that we have that will provide value in the present, in the future, and in the past if you're a time traveler. So that's what we really see as the value that the duo discussions provide, and we look forward to sharing that with you guys in the future. So yeah, let's get it going.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Coming at you with the Common Collective duo discussion number 1 with me and Joe. Today, we're going to be discussing a little bit about fitness and business, how it kind of correlates in our lives and the differences between us and our own interest. And so you're going to get a little bit of a piece of us and who we are, and learn a little bit more about how we're going through our fitness journey. So, Joe, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, and you can even kick off with how your fitness journey is currently.
Yes, sir. Yo, thanks, Riley. Yo, what's up, everybody? Who's ever watching this or listening to this right now, thank you so much. Your support does not go unnoticed. We've been trying to develop this brand, for quite some time now. And, as a common collective group of people, we finally feel like, we're on the midst of something great. So once again, thank you for your support, whoever's watching or listening to this right now. We look forward to, having more of these duo discussions like this in the future. So like Riley said, we're going to be talking about, how fit, like we're both very passionate about fitness, right? So Riley's kind of more in on the, the cardio, like the running side of things, as opposed to like looking at the other end. Like I'm more of kind of the, the weightlifting and, bulking or cutting or whatever your, whatever goal that you've set for yourself, kind of getting transitioned like into lifting if you're new. So that's kind of what we're going to be discussing in this first little duo discussion is fitness, right? So I guess I'll kind of get started off with my fitness goals that I've personally set for myself, not for the long term, but the short term. I'm very big into fitness when it comes to, weightlifting. I've been working out for quite some time now. It's been probably 6-7 years. I started freshman, sophomore year of high school. So it's been a minute, and over the duration of 7 years, I've just gotten more comfortable with lifting, and I've developed this true passion for it. It's almost like my stress reliever throughout my day. It's like my meditation period where I can just hone in everything that's been going on throughout the day and just let it all go and just really focus on developing myself and bettering myself for the future. I'm a big believer in, taking life day by day and constantly doing something each day to set yourself up for success and better yourself in the future. Right. So
absolutely,
to kind of go off that, like the goals for this summer that I've set for myself is I'm trying to bulk. You know what I mean? I've been like 155, 160 my whole entire life, and I'm sick of it. I need to fill out my shirt more. You feel me? So when you take your shirt off, like you show your abs and everything, yeah, that's fine. But nah, I'm trying to fill out my shirt a little bit. So to go off that, I'm trying to get up to. I have a distinct goal of 180 pounds for the summer, and then kind of doing like a clean bulk, right? So essentially what a bulk is for, those of you that are new around like fitness, a bulk is, essentially eating more calories than you burn throughout your day. And then like if you're going on a cut, it's obviously the other way around is, eating less calories and burning more calories. So it just kind of differentiates. But yeah, so that's my current goal right now is, I'm in the midst of bulking. I've done a pretty good job so far. I'm at like 173, I think, the last time I weighed.
Okay.
So I have a little bit more to go, but I've definitely started to see like the changing of my body, not in a good way too. My abs have cut out a little bit, but that's how it's gonna be. But
part of the process.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, that's the goal that I set for myself, and I'm working towards this. So, but that's kind of what my current fitness goal is right now, and what I'm striving to accomplish. So,
absolutely. Hey, do you want to go ahead and brief over just like what a week looks like, maybe your routine? I know obviously you hit different parts and stuff like that. Kind of go over that, and I'll kind of do the same as I talk about my goals.
Yeah, man. So for my personal per se, I say that in order to accomplish your goal, you need to at least do something active like 4 or 5 times a week. I know everybody's super busy with, work and, class or whatever, maybe going on in your life that, consumes and, is mostly prioritized like to your time. But I say everybody at least has the time to work out like 4 or 5 times a week. And that's kind of what I stay true to. I shoot for 5, and if I don't get 5, it's okay. But 4 to 5 is what I shoot for. So a typical like week, like a split for me is push pull legs. I know that's pretty generic, but it's been working for me. And find it may not work for other people listening to this, but find what works for you, right? Everybody lifts and everybody works out differently, and everybody has a unique way of doing things. So that's what works for me, is doing push pull legs, and then so chest, tries, shoulders, and then I hit back and biceps, and then legs. I destroy my legs. So that's pretty like the split that I go about.
Nice.
You could do, something like, you could just do like chest and tries and do shoulders on its own separate day, because there's so many shoulder workouts that you can do, man. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, you can do like dumbbell press, you can do shrugs, you can do like Arnold press, there's so many, there's barbell press, you can do so much, machine press, you can do so much stuff with your shoulders. Like, so you could kind of just space it out like however you want, really. But yeah, that's kind of, what my week looks like for from a fitness perspective. But yeah, Riley, do you want to go into like kind of what your week looks like for, revolved around running, or, so.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll give my week, and then I'll just brief back into like my current goals and like kind of the why overarching. So we'll get it a little backwards, but I think it'll be a cool transition. So my normal week, same kind of concept, I believe. Especially if you're serious and you want like a serious strict goal, hit that 4 to 5 times a week, 6 if you really need it, depending on what you're training for. But obviously I'm kind of training for triathlon, so it's a little bit different than lifting, but still, yeah, I am trying to implement about 2 sessions a week in the weight room, more mobility focused, isometric movements, just to kind of protect my knees, joints, keep my, my upper body strong too, swimming and things like that in triathlon. You still need to have overall strength. So not as serious as back and bis in those days, but I definitely go in there and do a little bit more of a full body workout. So I don't have set days that I do these things yet. I'm not back on my training plan. So currently it's just kind of maintaining my fitness, but I would say a normal week looks like usually Monday off, and then the rest of the week it's workouts. So it'd be like Tempo Tuesday is like the most common thing for running. So it's like a quicker day for your running, right? And then most of the other days would look like probably a slower long run and a swim, and then another day would be an intense bike, and into the following day maybe a little bit of a longer bike with a short run off, and then usually end the weekend with like a really long run. And that varies as like training plans go, but these are just general things I do to try to maintain my fitness as I'm not in a block yet. But to kind of wrap around to my overarching goals, I'm training for triathlons, half Ironman in specific right now. 70.3 Michigan's my goal race. So that's September 11th. Looking for a plan that I'm going to find. I liked a couple of the programs I use, so going to plug into that here towards the end of this month. I want to do some fitness testing. So something I do is a little bit different than lifting. I guess what you would do is kind of go for your max, right? And that's kind of your benchmark for things. For me, I use like my heart rate and different kind of data metrics over my training, paces, heart rate and things, and kind of combine those to set my baselines and move those for my goals. So it's just, that's the subtle difference. And it gets pretty data intensive, which is kind of interesting and fun for me.
Yeah, that's what I think a lot of people don't realize is fitness is so statistical, bro. There's so many apps and, just technology out there that can track your workouts, that can, like we were talking about, like the app that you and Ricky use, and then I Strava, yeah, and then I track all my workouts on my Apple Watch, and then you can go like very in depth, like with your heart rate, with the amount of stairs you climbed that day, or like how your
elevation gain, and all kinds of stuff. So that's like the centerpiece of how I work out, is looking at the data. How am I feeling today? What are these things kind of telling me to lead me forward? So that's kind of an overarching I guess, canvas of what my week looked like, a little bit about my goals. I want to finish 70.3 in Michigan in sub 5 hours. So it's going to require a little bit of work to get there, but I think I can get it done. So it's just about kind of getting that plan plugged in, following suit. I actually use a platform called Training Peaks typically, and a lot of these other programs will tie their workouts into it. And it's just like this calendar, right? And it shows you, hey, here's what you do. Here's the specific time you should spend in these different heart rate zones and things like that. And I just kind of fill my week up. Hopefully I see all green and no red, meaning I did them all. And then all of my stuff gets uploaded to Strava, which you mentioned. I'm glad you brought that up, which is a platform. If anybody's into like anywhere from hiking, even weight training, people share stuff like that on there, running, lifting, swimming. I mean, just covers a lot, and it's growing a lot. It's basically a social media platform for your athletics and your workouts. So the minute you're done, it'll automatically upload, and you can kind of see your friends' workouts, give them kudos and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Dude, what I like about that too, it motivates you to be better, you know?
Yeah.
And like you can see that, oh, Josh is getting his workout in for the day, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't get my workout in. Like, now I got to go compete with Josh. Like it motivates you. It keeps you on edge, like keeps you, on your feet.
It's really good accountability. I love it. And it's just cool to see what everybody's doing. And especially when you know their goals and you see them hitting those workouts aligned, it's just a good feeling. It's a really cool community.
Dude, yeah.
So there's a little bit, I guess, about our personal fitness. I mean, if there's anything else you want to brief on real quick, we can do that. If not, we can kind of segue into how kind of all of this fitness stuff, like obviously you've heard from us both personally. This is just both what we prefer and like for our fitness. So that's a big key takeaway for anybody listening. So just do the fitness that you like. And if it's very minimal, that's okay. At least you're moving. It's just find what you enjoy and do what you enjoy, and it can help you be healthy. Right.
Dude. Yeah. And there's, if you're not that big into, working out right now, that's totally okay. The great part about it is that you wake up every single day with a chance to get better, with a new opportunity, with your chance to develop a new routine. So, if you're not, like I said, if you're not into fitness right now, that's totally fine. This is why we're here. We're trying to motivate you to, be the best version of yourself, and, getting into a new routine that you can implement.
Absolutely.
And there's so many benefits, around fitness, no matter what you do, whether it's, weight training, whether it's running, whether it's swimming, whether it's biking, hiking, just doing something active to, benefit yourself in the long run you'll be surprised how much, your body will change, and your self-esteem, your fatigue levels might reduce. It'll increase your energy. Like there's so much stuff so many benefits that are, revolves around working out.
That's super well said. Super well said. And as you're talking about those benefits, let's just brief right in. Go ahead, Joe. What benefits do you find you kind of having your lifting routine and your goals, like around business specifically, like your work day? Like,
dude, yeah.
Go ahead and just shoot.
So for me, like whenever I've been getting off of work, it's kind of bad, bro. Like, so I work the 9 to 5, right? And then I drive home, and then like I have this sudden itch in me. Like it's almost like sickening. Like if I don't go to the gym, if I don't get a lift in, like I feel guilty about myself. Like I have to do something proactive. Like after my day of work, sitting at my desk like all day, like I have to have that, drive in me, to go better myself and stay active. Like, and whatever that may be for you, just find the motivation within, just to be the best, a better version of yourself, and to beat the day, to accomplish the day.
Absolutely.
I promise you, going to bed that night knowing that, you had a full day of work, you worked out, you ate healthy, you will feel like a new person. I swear. It's awesome. That's
that 1%.
It's going to require a little bit of effort. It will. I mean, but, ask yourself the question, like, why not me? Like, why can't I be great? Why can't I, you see these influencers on social media, you see, these fitness stars, or even just for business in general, you see all these successful people. Why can't that be me? Fitness correlates to business in tremendous amounts of ways. It really does. And some of the reasons I believe that is, number one, it makes all your coworkers and colleagues sharper in a full day's work. It makes everybody, more motivated at the company, higher energy at the company. And overall, just, I think commitment, bro. I think
Mhm.
everybody, if everybody's, working out and, getting into a routine of incorporating some sort of fitness in their life, then people are going to be more committed to their work. So like, if you're not, like, I feel like, how do I say this? If you're not committed to your work, how are you going to be committed to fitness, and vice versa? If you're not committed to, a hands down 5 days a week routine of fitness, how are you going to be committed to work? It goes the same way.
It all translates.
So I think it all connects. It improves, working out improves your cognitive function and your overall mood. And I think that correlates to business in many ways. So that's kind
Absolutely.
of my perspective on, how business correlates to fitness, is that it makes everyone, sharper at the company. It increases competition within each other too. Like everybody, you see these people on, social media, and then you see them, in person, like your colleagues or coworkers, and you're like, wow, you got bigger. You've been going to the gym. Like, they're like, oh yeah, man, like I recently got into going to the gym. Like, that's competition right there. Like everybody strives to be better. And, if you see a friend and, they bulked up, like that motivates you, or it should. So.
No, absolutely. I like those takeaways big time, and definitely clear translation between the two. And I'm like in agreement to everything you said. It makes people sharper, makes your team kind of more efficient, I believe. And then like me personally, kind of like I talked to you a little bit about this briefly earlier, but like having that itch, like you said, for me, it's like if I can start my day and get it in before work, I'm just like coming to work fired up, like I'm ready to go. You kind of get the release of the endorphins and everything, and just start your day in a good way. And you win the day when you win the morning a lot of the times. And sometimes that's coming from that first workout, but not to say that you can't do it after work either, because after work, then you have that draw to that release after. So there's benefits to doing it before and after that I've seen, that I'm like, it's a good way to fire up your day, but it's also a good way to unplug away from work. And just like you said earlier, I mean, I felt the equivalent to what you were saying, how lifting feels for you, how all of these sports feel for me, where it's like, I'm in like my meditation zone, right? Like I'm like at ease. I'm just at peace when I do it. And in a way, like biking, for example, like I feel like a kid again. Like I'm just out on a bike ride, and it's like, what better way to come home from work and just hop on a bike and just ride, right? You feel
I
like
love biking. It's just like you're out in nature, man. Like,
you see a lot.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's a big piece of kind of my own personal take on like how it impacts work, just from like my own stance. But I agree. I think there's a lot of obviously scientific benefits behind what it can do to your actual productivity, to your team and everything like that. A little bit of competition factor. You see a lot of offices doing step challenges and things like that, which I think is a pretty cool thing to kind of get into and make it a little bit of a competitive thing, but it's fun for everybody because everybody can go out and walk, right? So I think that there's a lot of benefits that it can bring to the table. And there's nothing cooler to me than getting to see like corporate sponsored running events or triathlons and weightlifting competitions. I just think it's a really cool way that businesses can bring community together. And something I realized, I think, through all of it is a lot of business is ran through sports, ran through lifting, and just the fitness industry in general. And it's all around us. So I think through both of our lenses, being in business, kind of in the marketing space, we get to see how different companies interact, how they market to people and things. And they're also a good translation of that, and how the fitness industry and business works versus how completely different industries like fashion or something may work. So I think that's another cool takeaway that I've had from it. But that's kind of my take on how those two connect. And I think you had some really, really good takeaways as well. So I hope our audience kind of sees that connection, sees our passion behind it, got a little bit of our journey. But something I want to brief on just before we kind of close out on our closing thoughts is just like, we've talked a little bit about it, but if somebody hasn't started fitness, or somebody maybe has dabbled a little bit and they were like, they got the drive to get into it, but they just don't know where to go, what's a piece of advice that you would give to them?
Yeah, dude, that's well, first of all, I agree with everything, you said about how fitness, connects back to business and everything. But right, like to kind of conclude and, provide and support advice, for our audience. So if you're not into fitness or you're on the, the brink of, trying to get into fitness, the first piece of advice I would say is develop goals for yourself, man. Develop goals for yourself. Literally write them down on paper to hold you accountable. Keep them on a sticky note and tape it on your wall, or, get a notebook and write them down. Keep it on your desk, or even, so you're looking at it every single day. So it holds yourself accountable for it. Like, this is what I need to do. This is what I'm working towards. Whether the goal is revolved around, eating more calories than you burn, or whether it's, burning more calories, than you consume. So everybody has a different goal. Figure out, I can't tell you what your goal is. Only you know that. So figure out, what's best for yourself, and what version of yourself you want to see yourself in the future. So that would be my first piece of advice, is goals. Develop a goal for yourself. Many goals.
That's fire right there. That's the best piece right there, is a goal, because that's where it all starts, in my opinion too. Something I definitely would say for people starting, and I think it's the hardest thing for people who go to the gym, is stop comparing yourself to everybody else. I get being competitive, and like you see this guy who's, just ripped out of his mind or something, if you're lifting and you just are like, God, I'll never get there. Or for fitness, right? Like I look at these pro triathletes, and these guys are running 550 miles, and I was like, I don't think I can do that for more than a mile, right? So it's like, know where you're comparing if you're going to, but when you start, just drop the comparison. It's you versus you, right? And figure out what makes you happy in the gym and outside of the gym, whatever it is. And once you find what makes you happy, write those goals, like you said. And I think the biggest piece of advice I really would drive is take it bite-sized. Don't go try to eat a horse when you're going into, or an elephant, right? When you're going into the fitness world, because you will wake up the next day so sore that you'll never have the motivation to get back to the gym. So that's something I've even, like, as an athlete who really likes this stuff, it's like, you go really hard one day and you start a new plan, and then the next day it's like, kind of dragging, because you're so sore and you're so beat from it that it's not sustainable. So just like a diet or anything, it's like, you got to take it like that 1% or even a 0.5% at a time, and incrementally build yourself up towards those goals. So just be realistic with things, and kind of, don't be afraid to be humble and start from ground zero, because, everybody, like you said, will improve that 1% over time. And as long as you stay consistent and do what you're supposed to do, align to your goals, you're going to find yourself in a happy spot.
Dude, for sure. I think those are great. A great 2 pieces of advice. So overall, to kind of close our first duo discussion, number 1 out.
Yes, sir.
Once again, thank you for everybody that listened to our first duo discussion. Many more to come. To kind of wrap it all up, the goal: develop goals for yourself, man. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, and get 1% better every day. Slowly climbing the ladder. So.
Absolutely. I love that, Joe. That's what the Common Collective is about. It's that group of people, and we want you to come into our group of people. If you're listening to this right now, you're a part of us. You're a part of this community.
Thanks.
Try to have that mentality, hold that mantra of 1% better every day. Just improve yourself and try to become the best version of yourself. And if you have a bad day, guess what? You get to hit the pillow and wake back up, and you get another day at it.
Hey, The sun comes up. The sun comes up.
That's right. But like Joe said, thank you to everybody who stayed this long and listened to us talk about business and fitness. So we appreciate your time.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.